Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the fourth episode of My Life Lately. I said on my YouTube channel last week that in the podcast I would be telling you where I've been for the past couple of months, and this is that. Plus, just general things that I want to talk to you guys about this week. So I have been gone from YouTube for about 2 months, but you guys have been still so amazing over these past couple months. I've been gaining subscribers, a lot of you guys are commenting. I'm still actively I hate to say it, but I'm still actively earning money over there. So thank you guys so much for all of your continued engagement while I've been gone, and you guys have given me so much grace in my time that I've been gone. So I'm very, very grateful to all of you. But this is not the podcast about my YouTube channel. This is the podcast about my life. So where have I been? So in the middle of August, I started a part-time job, literally minimum wage, probably 10 hours a week. But those 10 hours, I promise you, every single second, I said it in my YouTube channel too, every single second that I'm awake, I feel like I should not be. I feel like I should 100% be asleep. I feel like any time that I spend awake, I need to be laying down, I need to be resting because I'm so tired. So I started maybe August 12th or so, and then I posted my last video before I left on September 6th, and then I've been MIA since then. It is now November. So sometimes I work 13-hour days. I try to avoid it, but I have a set schedule at my second job, which is kind of messing me up for Thanksgiving, but we'll talk about that later. I currently work 6 days a week. I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and that is a ton on me, especially the money that I make at this second job. It's literally comes out to being nothing, but that nothing is so helpful. And I know that I want to quit so bad because I'm just so exhausted and I don't have time for any of my passions. But that little extra money has been really, really helpful. So I've just been trying to keep up with sleep, so much so that you guys know my parking ticket situation. I talked about it in my video where I think it was called Clean With Me While I Complain About My Apartment. I got to a point where I'm getting parking tickets every single day because the parking situation in my neighborhood is that you have to move your car off of the street by 8 a.m. for the street cleaner or you will get a ticket. These tickets are $30 each, and I am getting one almost every single day because I'm so tired that I can't even get up early enough to move the car. I've been skipping the gym, but this past week I've been to the gym 3 times, which makes me really, really happy. But you guys know, fitness, I really love fitness. I love the gym. I love weightlifting. So that was really taking a toll on me too, because I have been seeing changes in my body since I stopped going to the gym. And I cannot keep my apartment clean for anything because, like I said, every time I'm in bed and I want to get up, my body is like, no, girl, get back down. So for a while, my apartment was looking like a war zone, but I have more motivation to clean it now. I have a new kitty cat. I got him October 11th. His name is Cullen. He's a sweet, sweet boy, but he will put everything that is on the floor in his mouth. So I do have to keep my apartment clean. So that, he's been motivating me to keep that a little bit better. Y'all, I'm out of breath. Can you guys tell I have show notes this time around that I'm staying on track? I'm not super duper rambly. I definitely wrote down show notes this time. My full-time job is stressing me out. And I feel like I'm always telling you guys how much I hate working. I hate my job. I hate my job. I hate my job. But that's kind of not true. This time around, it's different. Usually it's just outright I'm being mistreated, or laws are being broken, or overall it's just a really bad environment to work in. But I'm starting to realize that retail is not for me. I never hated retail. I never hated the aspect of the job until I transferred to the location that I'm at now. You guys know I started the job that I'm at now back in September of 2022. I had a horrible manager there. Maybe I'll make a whole episode of all of my retail stories, and I might bring Chloe in for that one because they have insane retail stories as well. But I had a horrible manager there. She hated me. We would like get into yelling fights at each other. And if you know anything about me, it takes a lot to get me to the anger level of screaming. Like when I get angry, I get quiet. Or if I get angry and I start crying, that's a problem. But if I get angry and I start laughing, that's an issue. And I'm the person where it's like, if you want to argue with me, I will go tit for tat until we're both dead. Like if I'm trying to argue and you're not coming at me with that argumentative energy, I'll drop it. But if I'm trying to argue and you're engaging with the fact that I want to argue and you're trying to argue too, let's go back and forth until one of us drops dead. And I promise you, I'm not going to stop until you're the one that drops dead. So I was going back and forth with her for a long time. And then in December, there was the position that's closer to my house opened up because I was driving really like 40 minutes to go to that location. That's an even longer story about how I even ended up over there versus the location at my house or by my house. Sorry, I'm so out of breath for whatever reason. I've been super congested for no reason at all for the past like week and a half now. So just talking so much is literally exhausting me. Whew. Okay, so in December, the position opened up at the location that's closer to my house. So it was me and one other girl. So in December, they decided that the other girl was going to go to this location that's closer to my house because the location that this other girl was at, let's call her like Brianna, the store Brianna was at had 2 assistant managers and they were not making the money to afford 2 assistant managers in that location. So they moved her to the location that's closer to my house, which ended up working out for her because it's closer to her as well, because she was also driving like a fairly far distance. So in May, that girl ended up quitting and, well, stepping down, quitting, but stepping down. Like she didn't want to fully leave the company because she really liked the store manager, the staff. So she like demoted herself and only worked maybe like once a month. But they needed an assistant manager. So they asked me again, are you still interested in going over there? And since I hated my store manager in New York, I was like, yes, please transfer me to the one that's closer to my house. I would love to go. And so I did. All right. So I knew the store manager at the location that's closer to my house was a really good salesperson. When they needed coverage for the day or whatever, I would go over there to, help them out. If someone called out sick and they didn't have anyone to come in, I would come in because it was 5 minutes from my house and I hated my store manager at my other location. So I was like, yes, please. I'll definitely help out over there. It's not a problem. And I got trained over there. So I already knew the staff and everything. And I knew that the store manager was heavy on sales and she's like that pushy salesperson. If you've never worked retail, there's this concept called conversion. Conversion is the percentage of people who come in and actually make a purchase. So if 10 people come into the store and 4 people buy something, you're at a 40% conversion, right? So my district manager, so it's the store, I'm the assistant manager, above me is the store manager, above her is the district manager who manages, like 15, like a group of stores in a region, right? She was pushing for conversion. I am not a pushy salesperson. I will not attack you at the door. I will not shove things in your face, say, try this on. I'm not going to put a million pieces in your fitting room that I know you're not going to try on. But once you get into the fitting room, I'll ask you, how's it going? Do you like your items? And if they say, this is a little too tight, I don't like how this fits here, I'll pull you some options that might fit better for you, right? That's the way I sell. But my store manager wants me to be that kind of pushy salesperson that she is and just keep pulling items. Just pull it, put it in the fitting room, pull it. And I'm like, I know that there are customers that need that type of service, right? Like that's the type of service that they like. Like, yeah, girl, I'm trying to go on this vacation. I need a million outfits. Pull whatever you think I would like. And I give that service to those people. But the casual shopper who's just coming in for like a new outfit for work, I'm not going to put a million pieces in your fitting room trying to sell you $600 worth of merchandise because I don't know your financial situation. I don't know how much money you have to spend in here, but I'm going to help you find what you're looking for. I'm going to help you find more pieces if you like that. And then I'm going to send you on your way. I'll help you build if that's the service that you're looking for. You're trying to let me know how much you're able to spend that day, or how much you were looking to spend that day, how many pieces you were looking to get that day. I can do that, but I'm not going to pressure someone into buying a whole bunch of stuff if that's not what they came in here to do that day, which is a majority of our customer base. So for a long time, it was get these customers to the register. Our conversion needs to be high, 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 high. And it sounds like that'd be easy to do because, if people are coming to the store, sometimes they're looking to shop. But there's a lot of people who come into stores, and you guys know it. They come in, they're just browsing, or they're actually looking to shop. They try stuff on. They don't like the way it fits them. They don't like the cut of the clothing in the store. Maybe the clothes in their store are just not their style. Maybe they're shopping for a gift. They don't know that person's size. There's a lot of factors as to why someone comes into a store and ends up walking out, right? And a lot of, my higher ups are kind of saying, we don't care, get them to the register, even if they buy one thing, right? So that was the goal for a very long time, get people to the register. And then we achieved that goal. And now the goal is UPT and SPT. So units per transaction and sales per transaction, which is basically how many pieces are they buying? That needs to be high. And then how much money they're spending on average. That also needs to be high, while conversion needs to be high. And it's so many factors. And I work in a store where, I told you guys, I work in an old lady retail store. These women have pensions, and they know how much money that they're allotted to spend at a certain time that's within their budget for the month. So I can't force a $600 purchase on a woman who knows that they can only have $250 of leeway money for the month. And when I worked in New York, this was not an issue. I was not the salesperson girl. I was the make sure the sales floor is nice looking and presentable, and make sure the displays are correct, and make sure, the floor is set up the way it needs to be, so that in case we can't service every single customer, the clothes kind of sell themselves because they're presented in a way that's eye-catching. That was my role. I was the visual person. The sellers were the sellers. I did visuals. I sold based off of visuals. But I was never expected to be pushy because there were other girls who were salespeople. I worked with a woman who used to work in a store that was commission only. So if she didn't sell, she didn't eat. So she was an amazing salesperson. So she was heavily relied on for that aspect of the job. It was sort of do what you're good at, and then we'll try to make you a little bit better in other areas, but do what you're good at so that all the pieces can work together, right? Sorry, I looked over at Colin and he's twitching in his sleep and he scared the crap out of me. But yeah, kind of do what you're good at. And now I'm being pushed to have a personality type that I don't have. I'm very much not an in-your-face kind of girl, but I will give you the service that you're looking for based off of the reception that I get from you when I let you know the promotions, when I help you find your size, when you get into the fitting room and you're asking me for help. I'll give you service based on that, but I'm not going to push clothes in your face. And that's kind of what I'm expected to do. And I'm definitely my biggest critic. So when my manager comes to me and she's like, you need to be doing this, 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 and this better, I know she's coming from a place of wanting me to be a better assistant manager, but it's also she kind of wants me to be like her. And that's just not my personality type. And it's kind of frustrating to the point where I kind of feel damn, why is my selling method not recognized as being valid? I had a $1,400 sale the other day, and then right after that I had a $700 sale the next day, but I don't think it's being recognized that my selling method works because it's not the way that she kind of expects me to work. And that's really discouraging, especially because I don't have a passion for selling. I don't have a passion for retail. I am solely in retail management because it makes more money than being a retail associate. And that's it. And then, so that's been kind of motivating me to leave this job because I'm so stressed out at this job because of the pressure to make numbers, the pressure to be a person that I'm not, the pressure to just literally just change who I am so that this business can make money. And I'm not changing and the business is still making money, And And then on top of that, I have to work a second job to make a decent amount of money. So it's like, I want to work one job where I make good money at one job. So, you know, even if I did change my selling method and I did, you know, work the way that she wants me to work and be aggressive and a pushy seller, and, you know, that I was happy at this job on a consistent basis, because I can't say that I'm not happy at this job, but I can say that it does stress me out a lot, the pressure to make these numbers. Even if I was completely happy at this job, I'm not making enough money, and that's mainly the piece that needs to change, because I can't keep working 13-hour days, 6 days a week to just have money to like hang out with a friend or buy a new outfit if I wanted to, you know? Like, I want to work one job where I make a decent amount of money and I'm not pulling my hair out, you know? So that's kind of what I've been doing in the past 2 months. I feel like the universe keeps trying to tell me, focus on your YouTube, focus on your social media. That's why you keep having these issues with these jobs, because you're not focused. So it's time for me to start listening to the universe when they're telling me this, because once I am doing social media full time, I won't have the problems that I'm having. I'll have a different set of problems, but I'll be managing myself. I'll be on top of I won't have issues from retail managers, and that's what I've been having since after the pandemic, since I've become a retail manager, and I'm done with that. I'm trying to build my life. I'm currently looking into moving or getting a condo. That was in one of my videos, I alluded to like waiting for some good news. That was on an apartment that I did not end up getting. And I'm just like, I need to have enough money to build my life. You know, I want to have money to put to the side for a down payment for something, whether that be a car or a deposit for an apartment or a down payment on a condo. Like, I want to have money to save, and I feel like I don't have money to save, and I want to start building my life. I'm 24. I'm going to be 25 in June. I don't want to be in my studio apartment by then. I want to be in a 1-bedroom. I want to have a living room. I want to have a closet. My studio does not have a closet. I want to live in an apartment where the ceiling doesn't fall down in the hallway because of a leak and it hasn't been replaced. That happened in July. It is November. That ceiling has not been replaced. I don't want to live in a place where I get parking tickets 6 days a week for $30 each. I don't want to live in a place where my neighbors are drunk outside on the steps. And a bunch of other problems that I talked about in my Clean With Me video. And I think I'm soon going to make a meal prep with me while I complain about my apartment, because there's more stuff to complain about. And there's stuff that I face in this apartment every single day that I didn't even tell you guys about in my first video, because it's embarrassing, some of the stuff that I have to go through in this apartment. And I want to go home to peace. You know, if I can't feel peaceful at work, if I can't feel peace by doing the hobbies that I love, by creating, by going to the gym, I want to at least feel peace when I'm in my house. And right now I don't. So something has to give. And that is going to be the job. I have to get a new job where I get paid more so I can create the peace in other areas of my life. So now that I'm done complaining, I gotta tell you about my new kitty cat, Cullen. He's an angel. He has so much energy, it's ridiculous. I'm looking right at him. He's washing his face right now with his little paw. He's been sleeping all day. He will sprint and jump on you in the middle of the night. He climbs the shower curtain. But he is overall a very, very good boy. He's very handsome. Sometimes it does scare me to have him here, because if you guys don't know, I never talked about her loss in great detail, but while it was happening, I post in the community tab about some of the stuff that's going on, or that was going on. I had a cat named Lacey. She was an absolute angel. She was the perfect cat for me. She was so wonderful. She was my great-grandmother's cat before she passed away, and when my great-grandmother passed, I took her on as my cat. And towards the end of her life, she got cancer in her eye, and I would wake up in pools of blood. I would wake up and she would be like laying as like every time she breathed, it was so labored, it was just so hard for her. And from the time I noticed that something was wrong with her eye to the time of her death was 3 weeks. I noticed it on March 5th and she was gone by March 22nd. So what is that? That's not even 3 weeks. It's 2.5 weeks. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I read somewhere that white cats have more of a likelihood of developing eye cancer. So I get so scared when I look at him, because Lacey, she used to develop these, like, you know how you have like crust in your eye when you go to, like, when you wake up sometimes, you know, you have like crust in the corner of your eyes. She would have that. And I would always wipe her little crusties out of her eye. And sometimes Cullen has them too. And that scares the crap out of me. And I don't know. He does scare me. And that was a really traumatic thing that I went through back in March, losing my cat. Because you guys have no idea how insanely close we were. If you watch my my tattoo video about, you know, explaining my tattoos, I have her name tattooed on me, and you guys can see some of the pictures and videos of us. But she would sleep on top of my back every single night, and I would always say, I'm gonna get old and go to the chiropractor, and he's gonna be like, oh my god, it's like you've had a 9-pound weight on your back for years. And it's because I did. I can't help but to be scared of history repeating itself when I look at him. But I can't let the fear of his declining health keep me from loving him and getting close with him and learning him as a new kitty cat. I just have to love him. I got him on October 11th, which was Lacey's birthday. I went out to lunch with my friend Sue. We used to work together. She's the most amazing woman in the whole world. She does a cat rescue. She has, she partakes in rescuing cats, feral cats. She has about 8 or 9 cats of her own, all cats that have just come into her yard, that she's coaxed into coming into her home, and she saved them from off of the street. And she works with people who do cat rescues, who feed feral cats. And we went out to lunch because I told her I was ready to get a new cat because she was with me the whole way through of Lacey's death. And we were just going to get lunch because the following week I was supposed to be rescuing a feral cat from off the street, like a very, very young kitten. But the woman who was feeding that colony of cats had pulled out last second. For whatever reason, she didn't want to give me the cat anymore. I don't know why. I don't know if it has anything to do with me or her personal attachment to that litter of kittens. But last minute, she didn't want to pull that kitten off the street, and Sue was so upset because it's about to be winter. Those cats are feral. They live on the street. And someone who wants a cat to give a cat a good home, you're denying them, and it's going to snow. These cats are going to be vulnerable in the cold, and you're denying one of these kittens a warm home to go to. So she was very upset. So we went to lunch, and after lunch one day we were like, let's just look. Let's just go to PetSmart and let's just look. A week or two prior to our lunch, I had went to PetSmart to pick up food for the kitten because I knew I'd be getting a kitten. So I picked up some treats, a toy, a couple cans of cat food, and I saw this little guy in the little glass that they have back there to like show off, this guy's looking to get adopted. He's looking to get adopted. And I saw him, and his name before I got him was Haitus. Spelled Caelus. I don't know who named him that. I don't know. But the women at PetSmart were begging me, like, please change his name. And I'm like, I will, I promise. But I had been looking at him a week or so before, and I was like, oh my god, he's so beautiful. I really like him. So when I went with Sue after our lunch, he was still there, and I was looking at some of the other cats. They had a black one, a gray one, a couple of black ones, a gray one, but I could not stop looking at this little guy. So a woman was there, she was like, do you want to fill out an application? The woman from, because it's not like a woman who works at PetSmart who kind of, it's like from the animal society that's in the neighborhood. So she just so happened to be there that day, and she's like, well, would you like to fill out an application for him? I said, yeah. So they made a phone call to my vet. The vet said that I was a wonderful pet owner before, and I would be a great candidate to adopt one of the cats from their humane society. And I left PetSmart with a cat $250 later. And his name is Cullen. I knew I wanted to give him an ooky spooky name because I got him in October, and also I'm a big Twilight fan, and also when he first got here he was very, very scared. He hid behind the toilet for a couple days. He did not come out of the bathroom. That was his home, and anytime I got near him, I reached a hand towards him, it'd be a big ol' hiss. And he has this big golden eyes, so I had to call him Cullen because he was like my little hissing vampire. I did almost call him Foutly. If I had a girl, her name would have been Matcha. But I'm content with the name Cullen, even though I call him everything but his name. And I've been a cat mom for the past month. But yeah, that's where I've been. I've just been being a cat mom and trying to balance 2 jobs and how tired I am and wanting to chase my aspirations, but feeling like exhausted with life and exhausted with being exhausted. But that's where I've been. And if you made it to this point, thank you so much for listening. I'll be back next Wednesday. I have officially made a YouTube channel for these podcast episodes, but of course they will also be up on Spotify. On my YouTube channel, under my 2 latest videos, there are links to the Palestinian Medical Relief Fund that Hassan has been promoting on his Twitch stream. If you would like to donate, please donate anything you can. In my Instagram bio, there's also another place that you can donate to Palestinians and what's going on in Palestine right now. A cause that is very, very important to me. And thank you guys so much for getting to this point. And I will see you soon.